Would you cut 10 years off your life in exchange for $20 million? Why or why not? I probably only have 20 years left. I'm old. And I don't have anything left to do that takes a lot of money. I have 3 beautiful kids. I have a wife who is pretty awesome. My health is pretty good. I drive a cheap Kia and I don't need a better car. I can pay to buy some nice ingredients and make nice dinners for my family. I can afford Netflix and Hulu at the same time. I also have YouTube. That's plenty of stuff to watch. I also have a Spotify account, so the music I can access on a daily basis is more than what a billionaire could access in the year I was born. My phone is a Google Pixel. It's really cheap, but it's really awesome. I can ask it things and it's like magic. Just gives me answers. My doctor and my dentist are both awesome. I don't have any pain. Costco is fucking amazing. I can get great deals on fruit and veggies that I like. All in all, life is amazing. What am I gonna do with 20 million? Probably some hookers and blow. But I did that when I was in my 20s in the Navy and it's pretty great. But I'm too old now. I'd probably die. I wouldn't. I much prefer my time with family and friends to anything money has ever got me. I'm also super interested to see what happens in the future. The main thing I'd want money for is just to not have to work. Maybe I'd save 10 plus years of time by not working. But that's honestly free time my friends/family are working or in school. I work normal hours. When I once had 6 mo off work and school, it was nice most of the time, but no one was ever available during the day anyways. Now that said, if I could have 20 mil and not have to lose years of my life, obviously that'd be insane not to take. It would immediately make my life way easier. No, I earnestly don't want a lot in life. I've lived most of my life broke, and I've wasted enough of my time to be comfortable as I am now. I get 20 million? For a big house that will impress people I stopped caring about when I was young? Better food I shouldn't eat because it's unhealthy. Shinier metal products that do the same thing as the cheap stuff. I drive a cheap but effective car, economical and long-lasting, and people act like it's goofy that I don't care about having a better one. I don't make payments on it. That's 200 plus per hour, spread around 87,600 hours. Since average work hour for OECD countries is 36 hours, that equals to about 45 years in normal workload situation. Since I'm yet to work, I can definitely sacrifice the time average people would spend their whole life working and earn more than 200 times the minimum salary. It's like skipping all the time I'll spend working, but I also get to keep all the best years to myself and earn a lot more than I would ever in my life. Any counter arguments? I'd take it 100%. It's simple math. Currently, I work 40 to 45 hours per week and drive an additional 10 to 12. So let's say 50 hours every week goes to work. With 20 million I could easily take 75% and put it into index funds and it would grow enough for me to be comfortable without working my whole life. So, take away work for the rest of my life. I'm gaining 50 hours per week time. In 10 years the 20 million pays for itself in my opinion. Plus, not having to work probably just extended my life 10 years anyway, so the net difference is zero. Without the stress of work I'd have lived much longer in the original timeline. Yeah. Is it Russian roulette if, say, I died in a car crash 5 years from now in the original timeline? 100%. But I'd rather have my will set up and leave my loved ones with 20 million dying instantly than feel the pain of the car crash and leave them nothing. I did the math. If you aren't already a millionaire, that is a deal. I'd give this was on purpose, but 10 years is more or less the amount of time a person has to work from 25 to 65. 10 hours/day, 5 days. 4 weeks, 11 months equals 2,200 hours/years. 10 hours cause I counted travels and launch. 11-month cause I counted holidays and such. 2,200, 40 equals 88,000 hours in 40 years. 88,000, 24/365, equals 10.04 years. So yeah, fucking deal. I lose nothing and gain infinite quality of time. Upon the recent saddening news that my coworker's son died of a sudden illness at age 31, I will not be taking this offer. I'm 25 and it kind of shocks me to think that you can just live normally and then be dead not 4 weeks later. Not like I didn't acknowledge accidents before, but a healthy man just entering his prime age. Just so suddenly. So unfair. When there are people throwing their health down hundreds of bottles and needles and living up until their 60s and 70s. Yes, you don't live until you are uninhibited from the daily struggle to survive. Smart people who save get to experience this when they retire, but even then that means they don't get to live until they are in their 60s/70s. I want to live now. I want to not be afraid of losing my job, not having medical issues, not having car issues, and still be able to pay my mortgage and put food on my table. No amount of money is worth losing time with my daughter and partner. Sure, with that much money I could quit working and spend all of my remaining time with them. But the way I look at it, even though I don't spend every day with my parents now, it's nice knowing they're still there. They still exist. I can still call or text them for advice. If they left me 10 years early, I'd miss them. Even if it meant they'd leave me more money, I wouldn't want to do that to my own family or miss those years with them. 8-hour workdays is about 2,000 hours a year working. After just over 4 years, you will have earned back 1 year of time just for, or having to work. In practice, it's going to be a lot less time to earn it back, since there's commuting, being stuck at work for breaks, and the lack of freedom that comes with the weekly grind. In addition, with that amount of money you get to buy back time that you would otherwise be wasting doing things like bargain hunting to afford things. Basically, if you're anywhere before about 50, this ends up being a net positive both in your cash on hand and in the amount of time you have available for yourself for the remainder of your life. Too easy, yes. Where you will likely get some pushback is the 2 million mark. Would you cut 10 years off for 2 mil? On one hand, you can stretch that money out, but you don't have nearly the cushion of 20 million. But 2 million sent to a checking account is life-changing for most, but lifestyle creep etc. will likely get you too. If you're 25 years old, 2 million is not enough to just quit and retire for the rest of your life. So cut off the zero and you get a much more interesting discussion. Am I losing the last 10 or the next 10? I'll trade off the bank end for 20 meters without stopping to think. Hell, if you're giving me 2 meters now for the last 10 years, it's a non-brainer. I'm instantly retired and off to a cheaper country. I've traded my 10 worst years for 30 extra years of freedom living like a god in a tropical location. Damn, make it 500k. And I'd probably not even need to think for more than 30 seconds on it. I definitely would. The real question is how much money would it take to be willing to give up 10 years? It has to be retirement, never working again money. For me and my wife, I can't sit home being retired for decades while she works. I think 10 million does that. 5 million probably does, assuming I invest wisely and don't spend it on something stupid. 1 million doesn't buy me 30 years of retirement living the lifestyle my wife and I want. 20 million is my retirement number, and I mean everyone on both sides of my family are alive or died old. My grandparents on my mom's side are both in their late 80s and bumping, and my grandpa on my dad's side died at 87 while my grandma is 87 now and still kicking all over. Couple that with the fact I have less than 10% body fat and work out and diet religiously. I have a bad weed habit, but I am still pretty sure I can afford to exchange 10 years at the end. Easy, yes. My wife wouldn't have to worry about work. She can take all the time needed to heal. She just had a brain tumor removed. I'd be able to take care of her mom, battling cancer. I'd be able to spend more time with my dad, also battling cancer. I wouldn't stress over missing time at work due to money. I'd be able to easily pay for the Disney vacations the family wants to take more often. I could take care of my sister and be able to see her more than maybe once a year. 10 years of my life would be a small price to pay to help my family in every way possible. Yes, my family on both sides has a history of longevity. Everyone has lived to or is living in their late 80s or mid-90s. I actually went to a Chinese buffet with my living grandparents earlier today and they kept talking about their health issues. One of my grandma's teeth actually fell out while she was eating. I'd rather have a comfortable life that is a little shorter than live to be very old and be in pain all the time. Yes, let's say I work until retirement and live until 80 without the money. With the money, I can retire now and devote more of my life towards myself, which includes less stress and more time to be physically active. My lifespan may actually be longer, net of minus 10 years, or at least I would have a more enjoyable experience while I'm physically still able until 70. Without the money, those extra 10 years could just be diapers and soup. Absolutely. Even if I had those 10 years, I wouldn't be able to spend it all. So at least I could enjoy whatever time I had left in relative luxury. A modest house and never having to work again is a great reward for 10 years that I don't even have to experience. I wouldn't take the deal if I had to go to jail for a decade. The real kicker would be accepting the deal and dying immediately because you had less than 10 years left anyway. Yeah, definitely. Take the money and buy me a plot in Alcor and put 5 to 10 million into a forever fund. If they finally figure it out, I'll come out on the other side hopefully on top. In the meantime, I would share the fortune with the family and make sure we have a family estate. Maybe buy a business or two, then plan my death. No need for uncertainty. At 9 years, go to a country that always a peaceful ending, then let Alcor do their thing. Assuming those 10 years came off the end rather than now, i.e., I won't age 10 years, then yeah, I'd probably take it. I'm 30 years off retirement, whereas 10 meters utilized well could mean that I could retire now, and what am I really doing in my last 10 years anyway? Feeling sore and tired. Hell, even if the 10 years came off the start, I'd still consider it, as that's still 20 fewer years of working. My fiancé and I spent all day today, literally 10 hours, panicking, scheming and making phone calls trying to figure out the situation when our car's battery crapped out. Having serious money would just make problems like that stop being problems. So much time saved. Please don't tell me how easy it is to replace/install/fix a car battery. It was a very particular situation that I already spent a long time dealing with and don't wish to describe again. But trust me, your basic first line advice would not have fixed it. Thank you.